What's going on, guys? And I am back with another Pixar review. Lightyear is coming out tomorrow. It opens wide Friday, and I'm going to be seeing it, doing a non-spoiler and a spoiler review. Definitely come on back to the channel, check that out when it's up. But look, let's just start talking about Wall-E. I mean, I just did the review for Finding Nemo. We're pushing ahead 5 years in the future. Wall-E releases in 2008. At this point in time, we know that Pixar Animation Studios is nothing to sneeze at. Their animated films made boatloads of money, and this was really, I mean, the first one that had serious talks for getting a Best Picture nomination. Ratatouille, I don't think quite got there, but this film gets there to that conversation anyway. This film got there and look, this is a movie that you could look at from the outside and say, oh well, Wall-E is just this little stupid movie about a robot, and it's a love story, and he's falling in love with this other droid, Eve, and at the surface level, there's not much there. But then you bring Pixar into it. You bring people like Andrew Stanton into it to direct the film, co-write the film. You bring people like Thomas Newman to do the score for the film. And you add so many more layers of depth and emotion. This movie is basically a film about, you know, save the environment almost. I mean, the world Wall-E lives in goes to kaput, goes to poop. And he's the last robot standing, and he finds this leaf, this plant. He finds this plant to prove that life could still be sustainable on Earth. And guess what? It is. And we find Eve coming down to the planet to find this robot, or to find this plant and bring it back up into the spaceship, the Axiom, and say, look, let's give it to the captain. Let's go through the protocols. And hey, if this is good, we're all going back to Earth. Now, these people that are on the Axiom have spent so much time on this ship that they're all now fat, big blobs, and they have to be rolled around in these floating chairs, drinking these mega cups of whatever it is they're drinking, and there's no exercise. There's swimming pools, but I mean, it's just it's this insane world and it's insane that these people let themselves get to this point. If people, I feel, are could be taken care of to that point, and everybody had a butler, I feel like this movie would be able to be a true story, because I don't think it's too far off of how civilization would become if they were able to be given everything at their feet. There's these robots that fly around the ship that help them with their haircuts and probably change their clothes and help them with the shower and all sorts of things. They don't show that, but I would imagine. And at the heart of the story, you have a love story, is what I said, but all that other stuff is played into it, and it's so well. And the villain of the film, the villain of this movie, is the autopilot. The autopilot, who, I mean, honestly, just wants to do things by protocol, which I guess I can understand. But I mean, it's not a living being. It doesn't have feelings, so therefore it'll go straight by the books. But when the captain and Wall-E and Eve, everybody finds out they could go back to Earth, they make it happen. And look, this film is another endlessly entertaining Pixar film. Is it as memorable as a movie like Finding Nemo? I don't think so. I don't think it's as memorable, but I think it's just as charming. It's just as entertaining. I don't think there's as many entertaining sequences and iconic sequences in this film than there are in that film. But I think that the characters are so well realized. Wall-E and Eve, they don't speak. I mean, if they do, they say each other's names, and she says a couple words along the way. She's like Siri almost, but not to that level. But I mean, the first like 20, 30 minutes of this movie, it's almost a silent film. I mean, these characters have to emote through physical humor And I think the animators just had a ball being able to tell the story, the first like half hour of it, without any dialogue, really. I mean, it's absolutely insane to see what Pixar has accomplished in this film. It makes it a very special movie. How many animated films do you think you could take a kid to see? And sure, the adults will be into it because of all the undertones and underlining currents of the film. But if there's no talking and you're just simply going off the visuals alone, is that going to hook a kid for 30 minutes? And gosh darn it, back in 2008, if you watch videos up on this YouTube, not this YouTube channel, but on YouTube, I mean, this movie was a home run and it's a winner. I can't, step into my child self. I don't really remember. I remember seeing it in the theater, and I remember liking it. But I mean, at that time, I wasn't really thinking about movies like I do now. You think about it now, and you say that goes from just a really good animated, entertaining film to a great film. I mean, overall, I mean, just the themes of being able to, humanity coming together to be able to stand up and save the world almost, if you will. And this beautiful love story. I mean, it's the best scene in the film for me is the scene where he's got the fire extinguisher and he's shooting around outer space. She's flying with him. They're flying around each other, and it's just this beautiful sequence with Thomas Newman's beautiful music. It's almost like they're able to just be free. They're on a date, almost floating through space. I mean, it's a really special, little heartwarming little film. And I mean, look, Thomas Newman's music, I think, is just as good, just as iconic. I mean, he goes big, he goes bombastic when he has to, but then he comes up with themes like the "What Is Dancing," I believe the title of the track is, when they're flying around space. This beautiful love suite, almost. I mean, it really works. And then Andrew Stanton, directs this thing, co-writes this thing. He's such a good director of animation. I mean, look, say what you will about Finding Dory. I don't dislike the movie, but I mean, Stanton, he did what he could with the script that they had. Now, sure, not every script you're going to write is a winner, but he was 2 for 2 at this point with Finding Nemo and Wally. Andrew Stanton could do no wrong. I think they gave him, if I'm not mistaken, I think they gave him that live action, that Mars film, whatever it was, the John Carter thing. I'm pretty sure that was him who directed that, and it just totally failed and flopped, and just was a total failure of a film, profit wise. I mean, I'd never seen it, but I heard it's a good movie. I don't know. He tried to get his break, and it just didn't go well. But I mean, then he came back, did Finding Dory. But look, this movie, Wally. I mean, what's to say? It's a 5 out of 5 film. It's an incredible film. It's an entertaining film. It's one of those animated movies that makes you think. It's deeper than what it looks like on the surface level, and it's one of Pixar's best films in general. Top 10. I mean, you could say that about half of Pixar's movies. This is one of Pixar's best movies. So when you go to rank these things, it's like you have a movie like this at like number 10, and you go, "Oh my God, Wally's at number 10," and then it's like, "Oh my God, well the rest of them." I mean, Pixar is an incredible studio, and they've, you know, really did a good job. They've dropped the ball a couple times. I mean, I don't really care about Brave. Don't really care about The Good Dinosaur. Finding Dory is good for what it is. Monsters University, I think, is not bad at all. Really, I do actually kind of enjoy that film. Uh, you know, Cars 2, not very good. Cars 3 is fine. I don't think it's as good as the first one though. So I mean, basically, after Toy Story 3 comes out in 2010, you'll get your occasional winner like Inside Out, Coco, Soul, uh, and then you get movies like Cars 2 or Brave or like The Good Dinosaur, like Pixar was doing. But from 1995 to Toy Story to 2010 to Toy Story 3, I mean, they were on a roll. You could say that the two weakest films in those in that bunch is A Bug's Life and Cars, and I quite like those films. So, I mean, yeah, let's just talk about Pixar's legacy here. So when we go see Lightyear tomorrow, I mean, you're going to be sitting there thinking, "Wow, this is the studio that brought us that." Let's see what they're able to give us now. So, guys, that's been it for Wall-E. Comment down below. What do you think about the film? You excited about Lightyear? Also, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Got a whole Pixar playlist up on the channel, all reviews for like more than half of the Pixar films that I talked about on this channel with it over the past years. So definitely check that out. Also, subscribe for a whole bunch of other stuff. Look, just did a spoiler review for Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 5. Gonna be watching Miss Marvel a little later. Be doing a video on that. Follow me on Twitter at RyanKing72 and on Instagram at KingOfRises131. Thank you so much for watching my review for Wall-E. And until next time, over and out.